All right, welcome to the ongoing adventures of 3 Whiskey Bravo. The ongoing adventures of 3 Whiskey Bravo. So we are bound from Nassau. What was it? Owen Pendling? I'm trying to remember the name of that airport. Linden Pendling International Airport in Nassau, the Bahamas, for New Orleans. We're not actually flying to Armstrong International, which is the major hub in New Orleans. We're actually flying to KNEW, Kilo November Echo Whiskey, which is Lakefront Airport, which is a general aviation airport 5 miles northeast of downtown New Orleans. It's been a beautiful flight over the Gulf of Mexico. I've been enjoying my activation of live traffic. I mean, who knew? But for the middle of a pandemic, there's a lot of planes flying over the northwestern portion of the Gulf of Mexico. It's been Grand Central Station up here. I mean, Delta, Southwest, JetBlue, United, you name it. I mean, they're all up here. And I've been checking them on FlightAware. American, United, Southwest, Delta, JetBlue. I've been checking them on FlightAware. They're going from Tampa to Houston and Dallas to Memphis. And I mean, there's a lot of air traffic up here this time of day. It's 15:52 hours, 3:52 p.m. in Southern California, making it 5:52 here in this time zone just south of New Orleans. Busy time to fly, apparently. But I enjoy it. It makes it even more immersive, if that's possible, because you're not alone. The radial that I'm flying right now had a lot of airplanes on it. I mean, there was at one point 3 aircraft on the exact same radial behind me, and they were all commercial. So I watched them as they slowly overtook me, and they were obviously, I don't know, considerably higher. I've been flying at 30,000 feet, flight level 300 the whole time. They were at 36, 38. Even saw one up at 41,000. So, but it was fun. I actually went outside and looked at them as they slowly passed over me. It was very cool. I've been fighting a 40 to 45 knot headwind basically since I passed over the western coast of Florida. So I had originally estimated my arrival time in New Orleans at 4:23 p.m. Southern California time, Pacific Daylight Time. And let's see, it's 3:54 right now. So we'll see how close we come to that 4:23, which local time in New Orleans, 6:23 p.m. arrival. We're going to land at the RNAV approach at Lakefront Airport. RNAV runway 36 left. It's actually checked, and there's a NOTAM, noticed airman, that the runway, I think, is actually closed right now. I don't know, for maintenance or whatever, but hey, this is the upside of the simulator. There's no ILS to pre-program in, but I did check, and I think I found a VORDME towards which we would need to fly in the event of a missed approach, called Snakey, SNAKI, of 114.1. So we'll just enter that in an abundance of caution in the event we need to shoot a missed approach. I was thinking about the fact that I've been on the whole, very lucky when it comes to weather. I always fly in real-time weather, so anything could happen. And I guess as we progress into the winter, things could change. But so far, I've been pretty fortunate on weather, and today's no exception. I mean, we're flying to New Orleans. I checked; it's clear, beautiful clear skies. 80 to 78 degrees. I mean, I was thinking I'm going to be landing My estimate remains 623. We might be able to beat that a little.
Number 3 Whiskey Bravo contact Houston Center on 132.65.
3265 for Whiskey Bravo today.
132.65 for Donner Trey Whiskey Bravo.
Houston Center with you. 3 Whiskey Bravo at flight level 214.
Whiskey Bravo is at flight level 215, descending 16,000 feet.
16,000.
Air November 343 Whiskey Bravo, Houston Center. Continue to Lima Echo Victor as planned.
You heard him clear us to continue to Lima Echo Victor as planned. That's LEV. That's where we're going. We're going to make a right turn after we get there and start heading north towards the airport. There's the right turn. There's the Mississippi River Delta.
Air 3 Whiskey Bravo, you are 53 miles south. Descend and maintain 10,000 feet. Expect RNAV runway 36 left approach by going transition. Clear to going.
Down to 10,000. Clear to going.
Bravo, descend and maintain 2,600 feet.
Yeah, see, there goes again doing that.
Descend and maintain 2,600 feet. Expect RNAV runway 36 left approach by a going transition. Clear to going. Donner Trey Whiskey Bravo.
So let me make a few comments here. Here they cleared us to 10,000 feet, and then 2 seconds later cleared us to 2,600. So I've developed this theory, which I'm increasingly of the opinion is correct. Throttle back a little bit and start slowing down. Look at that delta. God, the Mississippi River Delta is just gigantic. I mentioned in my comments yesterday as we flew into the Bahamas that I am increasingly of the opinion.
Whiskey Bravo, contact Houston Center on 134.9er.
1349er, 3 Whiskey Bravo, good day.
Going to 134.9er, Donner Trey Whiskey Bravo.
Houston Center, day or 3 Whiskey Bravo with you at 18,000 or 2,600.
Flight level 185, descending 2,600 feet.
Number November 343 Whiskey Bravo Houston Center.
Going to tell us continue to going as planned. Going is our next waypoint. You see this? Passing through our transition altitude, I'm showing the nearest altimeter is 3003. Let's change our altimeter to that. May or may not be accurate. It's accurate according to ForeFlight. It may not be accurate in the sim. Let's find out. This is a thought exercise. This is the actual nearest altimeter information, 3003. I'm going to press B and let's see what it actually is in the sim. 3005. Pretty good. Pretty good. Anyway, we're continuing our descent. As I was saying, I've developed a theory that the AI ATC clears you down to the altitude associated with the final approach fix on the official published approach plate. And if it's not the final approach fix, it's at least one of the altitudes on the approach as published. Precision or non-precision. Yesterday into the Bahamas we flew in a precision ILS approach into flight into runway 14. Now we're flying a non-precision approach into runway 36. And either way, 2,600 is not coincidental. I mean, we were told to descend to 2,600 feet. That's not a coincidence because that is listed as the approach altitude for the initial approach fix. So we'll see. We'll see. I will also look at on the simulated map here on the PFD how much water there is, and also over here. Good Lord. And then in the best way, look outside. Water everywhere. I mean, I knew the Mississippi River was big, but boy, this puts it in perspective. Anyway, we're continuing our descent. Forgot what I was going to say. We're continuing our descent. Let's. I activated that radio frequency, but I did not activate it on the PFD. So let's see if we get anything. PFD settings, bearing 1, nav 1. Yeah, wait, what do you know? 25.2. Hotel Romeo Victor listed as the BORDME, which again I don't expect to need to use. I'm not using this as an approach to the airport or anything like that. I'm just sort of planning in the event we need to do a missed approach that missed approach calls for us to climb to 2100 and turn right, essentially, to that, what in effect is a radio station with an antenna that's broadcasting on a frequency of 114.1.
13,100 feet for 10,000 feet.
But I don't expect that to happen. But I will tell you that
Spirit Wing 666 Houston Center, continue as planned.
this
Altimeter tree, 0.05.
blue arrow is now superimposed by this magenta line on the CDI, the course deviation indicator, which is consistent with the VOR being, if nothing else, in the general direction of the airport. Continuing our descent list showing us 4 minutes and 53 seconds from our next, we're going to make a right turn here, I expect. Our next waypoint is GODRD. I'm told that we need to be at 2,600 feet, according to the approach plate, at that waypoint. So we're going to slow us down here even more. And because we know that that waypoint is only 4.5 minutes away, let's, again, do some math. Let's say we descend at 2,000 feet per minute at 4 minutes. That's 8,000 feet lower than where we are now. We're currently at 10,400 feet. So 2,000 feet per minute is actually a descent rate that we are going to adopt in order to achieve that altitude. GODRD, we need to be at 2,600. The next waypoint after that is Toybo, Toybo, at which we should also, according to the approach plate, be at 2,600 feet. After that is
Whiskey Bravo contact Houston Center on 927.0.
After that is Hebot, Hebot, final approach fix, at which we should be 1,700. 1,700. So the difference about this approach compared to last night
is out of 9,200 feet for 2,600 feet.
is that we're going straight in.
November tree 4 tree Whiskey Bravo Houston
Take a
Center,
look.
Continue to GODRD as planned.
GODRD.
Altimeter tree 0.07.
See, GODRD right there. That says GODRD. That's what he mentioned. Anyway, if you see this on this, and by the way, I tried this today and I had a crash to desktop because I pressed V, I don't know, 60 seconds after I got into the aircraft on the ground back in the Bahamas. Apparently the workaround on that is to press the V button the instant you get into the sim. I forgot and crashed the desktop. And I did on the second try press the V key and it was fine, but I'm not going to press it again now, because if I crash the desktop when I'm freaking 15 minutes, 10 minutes from landing, I'll shoot myself. Anyway, here's the approach. We're just heading straight in. Straight
Tree
in.
Whiskey Bravo contact New Orleans approach on ONE 2 tree decimal 85.
See, straight in. There's no turns or anything, so
Docker Tree Whiskey Bravo.
contact New Orleans approach, and actually there's downtown New Orleans.
New Orleans approach Conquer November Tree 4 Tree Whiskey Bravo is at 6,500
And there's our
feet,
airport.
descending 2,600 feet.
In fact, that's our runway right there on the left. There's downtown New Orleans.
November tree 4 tree Whiskey Bravo New Orleans approach. Continue to GODRD as planned.
Everything's going
Altimeter tree 0.07.
3007 on the altimeter. Okay, let's change that. We're at 3005, now 3007. What a pretty day. And you know what? Everybody gives the sim, you know, you read the forums and people are constantly giving the sim shit about the weather. I don't know. I mean, I checked the weather in New Orleans. This is what it's like. Nice day. Clear. Turn off our pitot heat. We're at 15 degrees outside air temperature, so we don't need to worry about ice, obviously. Yep, there's our airport. If the VOR DME is any indication, we're 7.1 miles from that radio signal, that radio station. That does not mean that we are that distance from the airport. Remember yesterday I mentioned that sometimes nearby useful VORs are not necessarily on top of the airport. Shallow at our descent rate now because we're doing just fine. Remember, we need to be at 2,600 at our next waypoint. And right now we're at 3,400, so we're fine. Things are looking good. Gosh, look at that. So much vegetation. The water looks amazing. When, again, I checked the METAR in order to, even when I was back in the Bahamas, I checked the METARs to determine what airport, rather what runway was best to land at. And based on that, selected 36 left. There's 2 runways at this airport. 36 left is the long one, comparatively long. 36 right's like 3,600 feet, so I didn't want to screw around landing at that. My point in saying that is just that if you look at the prevailing winds right now,
Generic 7 Sierra Tango, you are 18
coming right at us, 17 knots.
and maintain 5,600 feet. Expect vectors. ILS runway 18 right approach.
Sun's going down. Now somebody just got cleared to runway 18 right, which is a little alarming because I'm landing at 36 left, which is the exact opposite direction.
5,600 feet. Expect vectors. ILS runway 18 right approach. Generic 7 Sierra Tango.
Yeah, see, so that who knows where? I don't know if he's landing at the same runway or the same airport, but why would they be clearing him to land at runway 18 when the winds are from the north at 17? So there's still some bugs. Still some bugs. Airspeed looks good. Getting ready to make a slight left turn, head towards that airport. We're on the RNAV approach. Remember, you look here, GODRD. You zoom in there. GODRD, according to the official published approach plates, we need to be at 2,600 feet. We're at 2,600 feet, so we're where we need to be. I just can't get over how pretty the sun looks as it plays across the instrument panel. I just can't. Turn off the heater. Probably, if anything, we're going to need the air conditioner. Okay, anyway, I got more important things to focus on. Airspeed's good now. I think we're good to go gear down. Let's get our landing lights activated. There's the runway right in front of us. Airspeed's good, 130. That's where we're going to land. Oh, and I actually am starting to see some poppies. That's good.
Generic 7 Sierra Tango.
Let's continue our descent.
1 mile east of Lakefront. Descend and maintain 1,700 feet. Contact Lakefront Tower on 119.9er.
So since we're basically a
Donner Tree Whiskey Bravo,
stand by.
descend and maintain 1,700 feet.
1,700 feet. 1,700 feet is the published official
1,700 feet.
approach altitude for HEBOT, H-E-B-O-T. So they're not picking these numbers at random, gang.
Maintain 1,700 feet. Docker Tree Whiskey Bravo.
They're not picking these numbers at random. They're telling me, she told me to descend to 1,700 feet because that's the official approach altitude. I'm just monitoring my glide slope here, which says I need to, I'm sorry, my glide path, which says I need to descend. But let's go ahead and activate approach at this point. Let's see what happens. Oh, sorry, we also need to switch this to nav. No, actually, I don't think we would do. No, we would want to switch that to nav 1 because that's going to activate that. Yeah, I don't think we would do that. We're going to keep it on the FMS. We're looking good though, lined up. Look at the cars on the goddamn freeway overpasses. Oh, Jesus. Oh, this game. Look at that bridge. Still blocky. Still blocky. They have a problem with shadows from the satellite photos.
Donner Tree Whiskey Bravo, you are 7 miles south of Lakefront. Contact Lakefront Tower on 119.9er when inbound on the approach.
Everything looks good.
Tower on 119.9.
Got a good headwind though. You look at that. You see this? 19, 18, 19 knots.
Whiskey Bravo, 7 miles south inbound RNAV, runway 36 left approach.
Air November Tree 4 Tree Whiskey Bravo Lakefront Tower.
Downtown New
Clear
Orleans.
RNAV runway tree 6 left approach. Altimeter tree 0.08, wind 0 tree 1 at 25.
031 at 25. So we
Cleared
definitely.
RNAV runway 36 left approach Doppler tree
But if
Whiskey
those winds are
Bravo.
correct, then we are absolutely, positively landing at the right
Whiskey
direction.
Bravo, cleared to land runway 36 left. Wind 031 at 25.
Everything looks good, though.
Cleared to land runway 36 left Doppler
I
tree
can make
Whiskey
out
Bravo.
it does not have a poppy, this airport. It has a Vasi, but I see white and red, which means we are exactly where we need to be in terms of altitude. By the way, you'll notice that the blue VOR DME has now turned to the south, so we overflew whatever that radio station was, but it's still useful. It's possible I entered the wrong frequency, but I entered the frequency that appeared on my web research. Let's do our flap deployment because we're going too fast here. Let's slow down. Showing us with 2 whites now on the Vasi, which means that we're too high. Increase our descent rate slightly. We got a lot of wind. This is, who knows, maybe this will be my first real significant crosswind landing, because as you can see, the airplane is pointed kind of this way, even though the runway is this way. That's because the winds at 17 knots are coming from this direction. So the airplane, 2 mile final. The airplane's basically a big kite. Okay, good. I see red and white on the Vasi again. And by the way, I just noticed, GP has been grabbed. Glide path has been grabbed. So airplane's flying us full flap deployment. I probably should have done that already. I was distracted. That's 2 days in a row now. I almost landed without flaps. That'd be embarrassing. Things are good though. I see red and white. Red and white. 500 feet AGL. This is going to be an adventure. You see this plane's bucking. Oh my goodness, I just noticed my airspeed dropping. There's a more dramatic decrease in airspeed because of this headwind. I don't know if that makes sense. When you're heading into a strong wind, it's going to affect what your airspeed seems to be. I'm sure that may seem confusing, but anyway, we're good now on our glide slope. Trim this maybe a little bit. All right, good. Like I said yesterday, I don't want to fight the stick the whole way. You see the wind, the water rather, down here, blowing in the direction of the prevailing wind. Amazing. And we are definitely dealing with a crosswind. It's not a dramatic one, but it is there. But red over white on the Vasi, our glide slope's perfect. Still excellent on our glide slope, nothing to worry about, but bouncing around way, way more than I have in most of my approaches. Airspeed's perfect, 85 knots. Here we go. Here we go. Get ready. Idle. Works for me. Going into this kind of a headwind, no real need to use the reverse thrusters. 11 knots coming straight at us, basically, or almost straight at us, sort of from our right.
Bravo, exit runway when able.
Make a right turn here, using my pedals. Ugh. Toe brake it. Oh. Okay.
Whiskey Bravo, contact ground on 121.
Oh, the shadow of the plane. How cool is that? Look at that. Right there.
Going to 121.7 Doppler tree Whiskey
Okay.
Bravo.
Still getting used to these rudder pedals. You gotta bear with me. Hey, listen, I stayed off the grass. That's important. Lakefront ground, 121.7. 121.7. I think that's the ground frequency in the Bahamas, too. Taxi to parking.
Lakefront ground Doppler November tree 4 tree Whiskey
Clean up
Bravo
plane.
taxi to parking.
Flaps up. Strobe off, or pulse off.
Doppler November tree 4 tree
Taxi
Whiskey
lights.
Bravo, taxi to general aviation parking via taxiway Bravo, cross runway 9 Bravo.
Okay, our arrows did not change, so
Taxiing to general aviation parking using taxiway Bravo cross runway 9 Bravo Doppler tree Whiskey Bravo.
I had my usual anxiety on this flight about whether or not ATC was going to fail to instruct me to descend. And as I was biting my nails, convinced it wasn't going to, I got a instruction to descend. So it's 2 days in a row it's working. I'm doing 11 knots now on the taxi here to parking. 10 knots. Don't want to exceed 20. This isn't a NASCAR event after all. So I apologize if the rudder input looks herky-jerky. I did toy with the sensitivity setting on my rudder pedals today, and it's a work in progress. But I know that it seems like we're moving in ways that are a little more accelerated or dramatic than you might otherwise prefer them. Beautiful. What a pretty night. Windy evening. I have oh, by the way, what did I say? 423? What did we probably land at? It's 417 right now. So I figure we probably came in about what, 8 or 9 minutes ahead of schedule. That's all right. Do what the airlines do and give radically unrealistic estimates about when they expect you to land. That is to say, estimates that are far, far later than they actually believe. And then that way, when you're late, you can tell everybody that you're on time or early. I can say, approaching runway 09, so before we cross this, they did tell us to cross it, but I'm going to just check both ways. Make sure we're good. That's fine. Anyway, my expectation is that by the time I button up this airplane and hop out, it'll be about 4:23. So I guess technically that's a good estimate. Anyway, I've been to New Orleans once in 2003. I really enjoyed it. It was before it was destroyed, obviously, in Katrina. But in my ongoing fantasy world, toe brake, left toe brake, there we go. I have envisioned, where am I staying tonight? Oh, look at the MFD. There's an airplane. Hey, dude.
Delta Tree Whiskey Bravo, hold position,
Yeah.
caution, other
Thanks.
traffic.
Thanks a lot for that, dude. Anyway,
Position Donner Tree Whiskey Bravo.
while we're waiting. But this guy apparently just landed. Which, by the way, is further confirmation that I'm glad that I checked the METARs and chose the runway I chose.
Delta Tree Whiskey Bravo, continue taxi.
Because with an 18-knot
Roger, Donner Tree Whiskey
tailwind? I mean, that's a shit show of the highest order. I would not want to land with an 18-knot tailwind in real life. So, anyway. You gotta make allowances, though. Ooh, this is kind of a tight squeeze. Jesus, guys. Alright, let's see. Where's our guy? Oh, this is another goofy approach. What? Where's... Where's Gary? What am I? Okay. Oh boy, oh boy. I can't park there. Well, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. Hold your horses. Boy, that if ever there was a good example of why the toe brakes are important, this is it, because that would have been a majorly tough and tight turn to make if I hadn't been able to use that. Alright, there we go. That's where we're going to park. How you like that, Apple? Okay. On the ground. Let's kill the engines. Couldn't use Gary today, but that's the way it goes. Take care of all this stuff. Depressurize. Inertial separator off, and I think that is maybe one of my faster shutdowns. Anyway, what I was just saying was that I don't know what the hell happened there with that parking. What is that? What? Where's Gary? He's not even there. He's in the building. I don't even know. I don't even know what that is. But there was no parking this airplane there. That would have been stupid. But as I mentioned, using the toe brake is what got us to, or allowed us to be able to turn, make that sharp turn to the right. So learn your toe brakes. And this parking job is not implausible. And that's you can see that. Here's this douchebag that landed with a 20-knot tailwind. I don't know who that is. I shouldn't say that. If that's you, I'm sorry. I didn't mean it personally. But, dude, that wasn't how you should have landed. And because I'm playing with real players and real traffic, this is a private GA plane, so this is a real person who chose to land on the wrong runway. Where's he going? Nice. Oh, it's a nice looking bird, if nothing else. Don't crash into me! Who's that in the cockpit? The pilot's 4.5 feet tall. That's funny. There he is. Nice. Hey, he did a good job. Powered down nicely. This is kind of weird to think that this is some dude in his study or his man cave just like me. As we speak. What's that plane though? I wonder what that plane is. It's got a T-tail. T-tail thing. Well, if I could say hi to you, buddy, I would. I would tell you that you landed at the wrong runway. That's cool. No problem. Alright, we're done. Have a good one.